shit. Step to get some reality. I'm looking to a fall. A big me. Get up. Nigeria, Jaga. Everything's fantastic. Oh, my place, oh, my summer. What's up, what's up? Go shot it at the air. Nigeria, Jaga. Everything's fantastic. Oh, my place.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. This is African News Headlines or Summaries. I'm going to talk briefly about major stories which have happened recently on the previous days in Africa or in the world, which affect us, mainly Africans. So the first one is mainly the Donald Trump elections. I'm sure all of you or most of you know about this unless you're living under a rock. The elections in America are going to affect us Africans. You know what has happened in Libya? Libya is already disorganized. Mainly is America who did it. Even South Sudan, my country, we have a disorganization there. Part of it, or to a larger extent, is caused by America. You go to many countries, when you look at the CIA, they're doing a lot of things. So the elections in America are very important for us to follow. They'll affect us whether we like it or not. So how is it going to affect us, mainly like the Africans? The first person who congratulated Donald Trump was Museveni of Uganda. That's the president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And many others have also congratulated, but he was one of the first. It will affect Africa mainly. Let me talk about majorly in three ways. Mainly the money which they give for donations, and then wars, which are, because Donald Trump, when he was coming, he said mainly he's going to make sure there are no wars. You know, in his term, those the first term when he was in office, we never had any war in Africa. So at least there we are sure. And then green energy. These are the main things, like they are pushing for solar, non-fossil fuels. So Trump doesn't believe in such. So it will affect Africa somehow positively because industries will continue. So the other story is from Burkina Faso. I hope some of you are aware what happened about 6 days ago, where we had another coup. They want to remove Captain Traore, His Excellency Traore, by all means, and because they know once Traore succeeds, then the whole of the Sahel region is set. So that's why they want to remove Traore by all means. There was a coup. Someone came with about over $80 million who wanted to bribe soldiers so that they cause a coup. But those soldiers, they refused, and then they ended up arresting the person. And then there's also some news story from Mali. Mali has become the first African country to become debt-free. They paid all their loans on the 13th of November 2024. Those days it was Libya under Muammar Gaddafi, but now Mali is the only African country which has no debt. So, and they are saying is a soldier. So you see, this is most people, they call it a coup, but most Pan-Africanists, we call it, that is what is a revolution. You can see the effects. I think the second is going to be maybe Burkina Faso to be debt free, and then maybe it follows also Burkina Faso, Mali, and maybe Niger. Very soon, Burkina Faso will be also debt free. So the other stories, we have like two stories from Kenya. The recent one is the U.S. ambassador to Kenya. She has been, they have accused her of many things. He used to talk a lot whenever there are protests. He's always talking. And then they used to complain that he used to charge Kenyans a lot of money to get their visas. So she resigned on the 13th of November. She's called Meg Whiteman. And then the second this is also very, very important to Africans. This story from Kenya. Oh, it's an African Union thing, African Commission. I hope some of you are aware that we are having elections. Maybe in about 3 months' time, we are going to have elections for the African Union chair. African Union Commission, always a chairperson of the African Union, whom the president put, so that he'll take care of the business of whatever happens in the African Commission. So there are four candidates. One is the main one is Raila Odinga, His Excellency Raila Odinga Amolo. He is a person who is not supposed to be opposed, but I don't know why because he's an East African community, we have chosen him to represent us. But Djibouti, Madagascar, and Mauritania, I don't know why they also brought their own candidates. So we are praying and hoping that Raila goes through, because he's the most able person who knows more about African than all the others. The others, even I don't know them. I just realized them recently, that they are also leaders. But the person who is more qualified or the best candidate is Raila Amolo Odinga. I pray that he goes through, because he'll bring a lot of changes. He knows African Union. He has been, Kenya is the biggest economy in East Africa. He has a lot of experience. He has been in the West. He has stayed so he's more qualified, and he's a Pan-Africanist. He's the one who is bringing a lot of changes in East Africa, the democracy, for elections, and a lot of changes. So I hope the presidents, they give him the votes, and then they elect him. Those are two stories from Kenya. And then we have elections last month, and this month, and then next month we are going to have many elections. So far, the main one is Botswana. We had election in Botswana, where the ruling party has been in power for 58 years. Yeah. And then the opposition, they managed to kick them out of power, led by Duma Bako. So they managed to capture power. And then we have also elections in Mozambique. Mozambique, though the elections in Mozambique are not okay, we have a lot of what the opposition is complaining that they were rigged. So there are a lot of protests in Mozambique. And then on the 7th of December, we are going to have elections in Ghana. And this is also the major one, because Ghana, Nigeria, those are the major countries in West Africa. So far, there are two political parties that are going neck to neck. That is, one is called NPP, and then another one is called NDC. NPP, New Patriotic, is it party? And then NDC, New Patriotic Party, that is for Nana Akufo, a ruling party. So they are putting their vice president to go against the opposition, the main opposition group, which is the National Democratic Congress, whose person is John Mahama. And then we have another person who is independent, Nana Kwame Badiako. Him is independent. He could be the best, but now I'm not very sure. His chances are not all that. There are about 12 candidates. So these are the main ones whom I've just I've singled them out because they are the leading, and then like Badiako is he had a lot of what really is into real estate, so he could be the best according to me. I hope the youth they vote him because he's a young man, just like those of Traore and the rest. And then we have a new story which is from Burkina Faso and Ethiopia. So they are making a collaboration between Ethiopia and Burkina Faso, so that engineers in Ethiopia goes to Burkina Faso to train students there on how to make engines, how to manufacture engineering parts and all this. So this is a very good initiative which Ethiopia is doing, trying to help Burkina Faso so that they rise up. And then another important thing which I think some weeks ago, which up to now I think is very important to us Africans, the Russia African Summit. No, I mean, sorry, is BRICS. Oh, Russia African Summit, it was a bit 1 or 2 months ago. But the most important one is the BRICS Summit, which is also going to affect Africa, whereby Putin, His Excellency President Vladimir Putin has written off 20 billion debt of some African countries. And then the emerging of BRICS. BRICS is like an alternative. BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, that group of BRICS plus. So there's a lot of some development coming out of BRICS, whereby it is expanding, and some African countries, of course, Ethiopia, Egypt, and then here also Nigeria has applied to join BRICS. Uganda, I think they also sent their application. So many countries. It's almost it's the what? It's an alternative to the American system. So these are some of the stories which are for the African news. That one of Donald Trump, Burkina Faso, the coup, and then Mali being the first African country to be debt-free, Kenyan ambassador, and then Raila Odinga, elections in Botswana, Mozambique, and then the ones of Ghana, which are coming up, engineering collaboration between Ethiopia and Burkina Faso, and then finally the BRICS. The BRICS Summit. I think these are the few which I've come across, then which are most important to us Africans, the diaspora and both at home. Have a blessed night. Meet again next time.